What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Nexus Plays. Today we are testing more Rey, and I am playing against Krish the Merciless, who is playing his Boba Command iteration for the new set. I'm still on Rey Aggression, and we will have a look at the deck lists real quick whilst we're shuffling up here. So, same deck as the other two games that you potentially have already watched, but we'll have a quick look at Krish's deck. We will discuss this during the game. Krish playing set 1 Boba, some really nice additions like Timely Intervention, very good card. Bazine, very nice new card. The one of Pursuit, yeah, Maul, we'll get to Maul.
I think
Forloom as well, very good addition. But we'll talk more about their impact as we get through the games. But yeah, Darth Maul, very, very nice top end. Quickly on the subject of Maul, how are you preferring it to Vader? Because obviously it's kind of filled that void.
I don't think I can really go back to playing a Boba Green, which doesn't the only scenario where I prefer Vader over Maul is where I'm going up against like a control deck and Vader pulling out another body, puts me out of range of like Avenger and Power of the Dark Side, and there is definitely a place for that. But in almost every other matchup, I sit there and I just go, oh, Maul wins me the game here. It's actually crazy how powerful that card is. Boba Yellow got just the base color combo got so many crazy new tools. And then Green just gets even more, man. This deck feels insane.
Would you say the main plus point is that it's got 7 damage?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. Because you every single leader, I think, besides Thrawn, is just that comes out around the same time that he does. He just one shots, and the only leaders in the game that you don't one shot are, I'm pretty sure, it's just Thrawn, Vader, Jabba, and Palp, and I think it's literally everything else you just one shot. We're going to see that probably bear out in this game because with the ramping Maul, I feel like is such a matchup swinger between in the game.
100%, yeah, it's a crazy card. So starting off with a Cartel Spacer turn 1, I guess you just wanted to get some presence on the board.
Just a 2-drop, yeah.
And I played R2 and boosted it up. Obviously got to use my filter effect as well. So a really, really strong turn 1 play, really.
Absolutely. I think R2 becomes such a powerful card in the context of Rey, where, I mean, he's basically a 3/6, right?
When fully buffed, he is, it goes up to a 3/6. Very strong.
Which is crazy. I mean, if R2 was a 2-cost 2/5, we would have been playing him in everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, yes, you're giving up actions, but I mean, you're getting insane value.
I mean, sometimes R2 can trade into free ground units early game, and still, survive until the third swing. So I mean, it's just an amazing card.
Exactly.
Being able to filter into the cards you need for your matchup as well is very strong. So yeah. I only play 2 R2s actually, but I'm probably going to boost it up. Now I've gone through this testing gauntlet of
I think it's
you
very
three guys.
Powerful turn 1 play here. You saw on the last turn there, by the way, I've just resupplied. The Concord Dawn Interceptors is a really, really annoying card, especially when it starts getting buffed up. I think there's a valid criticism that it doesn't really do anything on attack. Oh, fine, it's 1 attack, but it kind of,
honestly, a lot of the time didn't mean to bring that back up. A lot of the time, I wouldn't actually attack with the Concord unless it's buffed twice. Normally, I don't bother wasting that action. But yeah.
So here I made the specific decision to ECL in the Zuckuss. I remember I had a Lackeys as well, but I decided to ECL in the Zuckuss to play around Tarkin Town because I didn't want you getting the value out of that, and you don't actually have a really great answer for Zuckuss now.
Yeah, no, that was a huge, very strong play, but no, I do use the takedown.
So you have the takedown, and then the other option was you could have had Daring Raid plus Tarkin. But both of those options aren't fantastic. And
I mean, as well as seeing Boba come out after I've used a takedown definitely doesn't feel great either. I would have preferred to I think yeah, takedown does affect leaders. Yeah, so I would have preferred to save it for that, but you know, I'm two turns away from rivals full as well at this point, so.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Like
Two turns is more than enough time for you to finish me off, I think.
I think one of the things I really want to emphasize about why Boba Green is so strong is that so Boba Yellow, which got really really prominent over the end of set one, like people talk about how insane Boba Yellow's like flip turn is when you're getting 8 resources and your opponent's getting 5. Well, Boba Green, if you see ramp, you're getting 8 resources, your opponent's getting 4. So like as a percentage difference, if you want to talk about tempo swings, like me getting double the number of resources you get a turn earlier is so crazy to me. Like, I mean, it's so hard to come back from that situation. If as long as the Boba Green has like a decent flip turn, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have a bad flip turn, you have a bad flip turn.
It's really good, but obviously it poses a few issues. Like you have to manage your hand size well because there's a lot of like spot hand destruction now with pillage and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, it's not no brain by any means, is what I'm getting at. Like you still have to think about what you do, but being able to just play double the amount of things your opponent can is honestly ridiculous.
I think it's probably a fire spray coming down here. I'm just just looking at it. It's just like, yeah, I've got 6. I just
I think that's probably
tapped out. I just go, okay,
probably
fire spray.
Fire spray for game, I imagine, basically. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing. Like, this is the other. Boba has fire spray. I don't think there's a better ship in the game. Like maybe like just considering like it's a 5/6 that comes out on 6. The action, which very rarely does come up, but sometimes does, can be completely backbreaking. Like if I establish a fire spray, like, and suddenly like you can play an Avenger, but if I just keep exhausting your Avenger, it's not really doing much.
I think the only card that would compare would be the Falcon, which is thematically correct. Obviously it's half the cost, but the similar kind of impact.
Here I'm just going like, okay, yeah, go on, you can pillage me. I was expecting it, but I was like, if you pillage me here, I'm like, okay, fine. Here you deploy, and I think the maul comes down, and this is probably just it. Like, it just instantly one-shots it, overwhelms you. I'm deciding. Do I have them all? I guess I don't have them all.
No, if you had them all, you wouldn't have taken this long to deliberate.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have been thinking about it.
I think I'm actually just in a desperate spot here. I don't have answers for you. And
oh yes, I had a barrage. That's it. Yes.
Yeah, so if I had pillage, I really misplayed there, but I don't think I did. I would have taken advantage of that for sure. But yeah. Unfortunately, that will be all she wrote, really, because that's going to be 7 damage across my units, instantly killing Rey, and doing 1 damage into the Sentinel.
Yeah, another crazy tool that Boba Green has access to.
I mean, honestly, since I make you discard that card out of spite, I guess. But honestly,
it was good. It was a maul. So you see, I had it.
Yeah, you did have it. You did have the choice there.
Oh right, but I couldn't maul obviously because you had the village protectors. So you had established the blocker, right, to just
the Sentinel
ruin my maul play. Yeah, so I mean, it was very good. I mean, you played everything like you could, I think, to not give me this situation where I could just get insane value. But fundamentally, like at this point, I'm so ahead in space.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're swinging for 14 damage potentially here.
I mean, like yes, your village protectors are going to go ahead and stop a little bit, but you also have to take initiative at some point. Like here, what I can do is I can take initiative after the next attack, and then just win.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to I'm down to 4 health now at this point, so I'm pretty much dead on board. And I think you probably most likely will just take initiative here.
I think you just conceded. Actually, to be fair, I think you're just like, yeah, I'm cooked.
Well, yeah, I'm just updating the life totals.
Right.
You're doing so damage so quick that I couldn't keep up. I think.
I think that's the thing with Boba. Like, it's a game that's like you're very much in it until you're not, and then it's over very very quickly. I think
100%.
and that's the thing where I think Rey actually has a huge amount of game. And the more gameplay I've seen of Ray Red, the more I'm like, deck is really got legs. I think it's unfortunate because I think it just has it. I mean, fundamentally, as a deck based around buffing, you are going to have a tough time into yellow, right? Like your waylays are going to ruin you, your cunnings are going to ruin you. You can't do anything about that. That is just the color pie. But outside of basically Boba and I guess Palp Yellow, there's not like and Tarkin. There's not a massive number of these like very good yellow villainy decks, and really you've got so much game into everything else. In particular, I can imagine you being an absolute nightmare for these like soft control decks.
Absolutely. So I do just scoop it up
Yeah.
there. There's
Yeah.
nothing I can do. The early onslaught was too much. Even with 2 Sentinels coming down, I really couldn't sustain my life there. So yeah, I mean, there's another argument for Tarkin Town or not Tarkin Town.
So obviously in that game you didn't get value out of it, but I mean you could have, right? If I had put in a lackeys, for example, or if you had buffed R2 first and it dealt 3 damage back, right? Like there's possible you absolutely could have gotten the Tarkin Town value there. But do you think that would have been enough? I mean, you had the takedown, but
I think honestly, being able to ramp into your awaken turn for turn 3,
it's crazy. Yeah.
deploy turn, sorry, is just too much to deal with. The cards you can play for 5 energy completely outweigh what I can even consider for 4. And you've got the ability to restand 3 resources in that turn. It's just like you say, the 8-4 swing is insane.
And it's also I'm just one ahead, and I think
the key is to try and weather that storm as best as possible.
Yeah.
So my options are either to utilize pillage,
Pillage is a big one.
try and stop you from doing stuff like that. Like, I mean, unfortunately, in a way, I've got to pray that you don't hit your ramp cards because, resupply really does put me very much behind. Super Laser Technician, I can work with, but yeah, I mean, what are you thinking going into game 2 here? I guess you don't have any fears at all, really. You're just looking to.
No. I mean, I can definitely see like the area. I mean, I know that Ray Red is going to be playing pillage, so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, I need to be aware of that. I think the thing is the problem with Boba is because you're a tempo based deck. Like every single thing you do in the early like 4 turns like really matters. And so if you have to like make the right calls as to your resourcing, I think that's really important. And I think I make a wrong call here. I see a super laser tech hand, but what I should have realized is, well, hold on a minute. Josh isn't stupid. He's going to lane dodge to space. I'm not going to get the ramp here until it doesn't matter anymore. And I should have just like probably I should have just gone like, okay, well, you know what? This hand wasn't anything crazy either. It was like super laser tech and a 2-drop and like some other stuff, and I was like, I should have just put it back. I should have taken the risk. But I think that was. I think like
I'm just praying that you don't have resupply again.
Well, this is the thing, right? Like you played like very well last game. But I had I had the blowout, right? Like I just had the tools I needed. But here you can see like I have to be aware of that fact. Like I can't just like get complacent and go, oh well, I won the last game. Well, like, yeah, but like I still have to I have to sit back and go, well, what let me win that game? It was the ramp. I think more than anything else, it was just playing a turn ahead is so important into the Ray matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, as we outlined, right? Like it just because I'm going a turn earlier, I'm definitely getting a board wipe with unlimited barrage if I play that.
I'm extremely scared of your ramping, so that's why I decided I'm going to stay in the space lane now that that's down there, and basically because I knew that you were relying on it at that point.
Exactly. So you're seeing here, right? I'm just like I'm in a desperate situation. I'm spending my 4 resource turn just bouncing your like
bouncing an A-wing, yeah, which is for me. I felt pretty positive about that play because that's a lot. I know it's only 2 energy for you, but 2 resources, but it's still it felt good that I wasn't going to be pressured as much as I expected.
So this turn for me didn't feel awful. I was like, okay, I've basically stopped his aggro. I've removed a thing. Like, I won't have initiative, but like I didn't feel terrible. But it was very much like, okay,
A little
like
bit slower than normal.
you've got a lot of health on the board. So I'm like, man, like my barrage here won't do much. And I'm just trying to figure out like a lot of my really good 5 drops. Like a barrage is the only way I can deal with space really on that flip turn. Otherwise, I need to. You saw I missed like a. If I'd had the Seventh Fleet Defender there, that's getting ECL'd in immediately, and I'm feeling so much better about space.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
I just do that, right? I do that. I ECL it in. I untap a resource. I play down the cartel spacer, and then I'm just sitting there looking real pretty with my waylay ready to go for the next turn. I didn't see that, obviously.
But yeah, no, I mean, I just decided that I need to just stay in space for as long as possible, to avoid giving you that laser. At this point, it's a bit more redundant because you're ready to deploy now, where the deck really comes to life once Boba's a lot, on the field. So I think I definitely am considering moving into the ground. But yeah, you go straight into my Sentinel, which is, that's probably the best use of Surprise Strike against my deck.
Yeah, I don't think
I return by just playing
This is
another
the thing.
one.
I'm sitting there like, okay, so this fire spray is like, well, I mean, the thing is, again, it doesn't feel horrendous because I can just ECL in the fire spray. It untaps. I basically force you to trade. So I do get 2-for-1 value out of the fire spray. So it's never the worst, but it's like I want my fire spray to be killing you, right? Like not controlling your board. The third space unit here, obviously, even though I know I bounced it back, just feels so backbreaking. I'm getting nothing here. And yes, I am aggroing you down, certainly, but it's not, it's not feeling amazing, and I'm really threatened by what's going on in space.
Yeah, I definitely felt good at this point. It still didn't feel like fantastic. Like you had 5 resources up, 4 more damage. I am taking a battering, even though you're kind of.
So here I do get the barrage. And I just decided to deal with like one of your A-wings because I wasn't able to do this was what was so key is because you had buffed one, you had 7 HP between the 2 A-wings. So I wasn't able to deal with 2 ships.
Yeah.
With this barrage. And I guess, arguably I should have just deployed earlier in the turn and just said, sod it and just hit the barrage for 6. But I don't know, man. Like it was just rough. I had to surprise strike to deal with like 1 Concord Dawn and like yeah, it's just a tough turn.
Yeah, I mean, I
you're low. You're certainly low.
I'm only running 9 low cost units, so I did see a lot of space units early game here. So I kind of drew well to still have a presence here after the overwhelming barrage.
I think you pillaged me here. I think this is what just swings the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty scared because you do have Fatal on board as well, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, despite how rough this game has been for me, like I'm sitting here with, as you say, what is that? 8 damage on board, so not quite lethal. It's very close though, and it's like any surprise strike or like additional form of damage. So here the vigilance is massive. The vigilance like deals with my 2/2 shielded, heals you 5, and suddenly that lethal that was looking okay, maybe I can do this before. A lot less likely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that really sort of stabilized me there. I was still concerned though. Like you can still kill me in this scenario, I think.
Yeah. So there's the fire spray.
Yeah, which is very strong. Gonna go straight into Concord.
Yeah, and he takes back 3. This is why Concord is strong because here now, 3 attack, great. I can get rid of that with A-wing. And I think here your turn is reasonably telegraphed, but I actually can't kill your Rey, right?
Yeah. My Rey for once.
Sorry, your Tarkin Town, yeah. So you don't get answered by Tarkin Town. That's the other thing. So that was crazy, right? Like that was huge value from Tarkin
Yeah,
Town.
massive, yeah.
And here I just have to go. Well, I guess I'm going face. So now I'm definitely not able to deal with your Rey on curve. I'm still pumping, 4 damage into you, and then I deal 2 more, so you're down to 8. So it's like it's close, it's winnable, but it's just like it feels really spooky. But this is the thing: you then get your restore 3, and it's like okay, now that I don't have an instant answer for Rey, like this is feeling really really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it is a tightrope situation, I think, and I think it always will be against Boba.
Yeah.
But you have to basically stabilize, even if it's very late. You can still manage it, and I think you have to manage the board. It's all about managing the board size,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
because the one way that you can take advantage of Boba's the way it plays is with hand size. Because there's nothing to worry about with restanding resources if you've got nothing to play.
Exactly.
Obviously, there's a lot more options now with Bazine being able to be smuggled and stuff like this. But
Yeah, I think definitely like playing a critical mass of snuggles is like optimal in the current game state with like all this red discard running around. But
yeah,
yeah, so
100%.
here like the other thing is that I've noticed from going from set one to set two is before I was basically like I would very rarely go to six like immediately unless I just had the fire spray in hand. Like I still would like, but like not all the time. It wasn't like a you just do it. Whereas here, like
Straight into Ray,
Maul
by
is
the way.
such a blowout.
I
I
mean,
feel like I just have to.
you just took
Yeah.
out Ray
Oh
immediately.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Surprise strike to get rid of the Ray. But yeah, here you get the Luke, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how I win now. Like this Boba leader was doing so much, and now this Luke is absolutely backbreaking. And this Luke only works now because of the rule change. Before, I don't think that would have worked.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So here, I throw out a Boba unit. I'm just trying to get units on the board. I'm taking damage. Like you are the aggressor now. You're just trying to deal damage. And here you see, I miss like something else for my three resources.
Yeah,
So here, I need a Maul.
you took
A Maul does get me out of the situation.
you took initiative there pretty quickly without even swinging in your.
Yeah, I didn't. I couldn't risk you taking it from me because I think if you take it, you just smack me for six with Luke, and then I'm just done.
I would
So
assume I would assume my play here would be redemption, if I got it, just so I
I
can
think you just start
stabilize.
turning your cards sideways. Yeah, I just scoop it up. I'm like, I can't answer the Luke, so I just lose. Like,
Oh yeah, so I had pillage and some more space units.
yeah, so I'm definitely dead because what happens is I play the fire spray, which is my best possible play. You swing with Luke, and then I kill your unit, and then you just burn two for me for game. So there was no way of me getting out of
what's your
this position.
plan moving into game three? Like what how are you?
Don't miss ramp.
Yeah, just make sure you ramp on curve, I guess.
Yeah, I think I
Is
don't
there
think
anything
there was.
else? Is there anything else special you want to talk about the deck? Like the one of relentless pursuit. I guess that's to give your leader a shield.
Yeah, I think like the more I've played this deck, I think Waylay's just completely cracked. And I was on 2-2, but honestly, Waylay's just ridiculous, and I always want three of it. I think I want to talk about the brothers, Forlom and Zuckuss. Zuckuss in particular, my God, Zuckuss with ECL is crazy. Like, he's just so huge. He demands an answer. He's really inconvenient to remove for a lot of different decks. Just absolutely nuts. But I mean, really, this is just a set one list. But I've taken the worst cards that we played in set one, and I've just put set two replacements in. That's basically what I've done.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Um,
and yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just feels really, really good. You need to get some games on it to feel comfortable with it. But like, it just feels really, really, really good.
no, 100%. Yeah, I mean, my list as well is, I'd say it's a pretty standard Ray list. Like I said, in hindsight, there are a few cards that are underperforming, which I will be happy to replace. Like
Is Poe one of them? Like, what do you think about Poe?
Poe is actually really, really good. It's just it's not a smooth brain card to play. I feel like you have to pick your spots, but if you pick the correct spots, it can just win you the game.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of times where you can play Poe and it just dies immediately, and
yeah. Because I think
it can be very weak in that respect. And as I was discussing in the previous game with Emmy, Cassian can sometimes be a better 5-cost choice.
yeah. So I
more
noticed you have
impactful.
Cassian in this list at the moment.
Yeah, there's no
I
Cassian.
think Cassian
Although I'm actually the card that's really underperforming is Kanan Yaris, and I'm probably going to put Cassian
Yeah,
in to
I don't
replace
think.
that.
Yeah, and I think like one of the things when the games I've played with Ray Red, because I was jamming Poe in every leader that could, right? Like it makes sense. It's a crazy card. But one of the things I've really feel is like if I can't ECL it in, it really is very slow. And I mean, especially into a meta which is going to have Boba, it's like already you're weak to bounce, right? If you spend your entire turn playing a 5/6/6 and my opponent just waylays it for two, like that might be the game then and there. Like what do
Yeah,
you
for
do in
sure.
that situation?
Like I said, I think it's very situational, and I think if
Yeah.
played correctly, it can swing a game. But
Getting rid of the
if
upgrades
played
is very good.
incorrectly, it can swing the game the
Yeah.
wrong way. So
Yeah.
it's like a high risk, high reward card. But like I say, it's about picking your spots with it.
Yeah. So here I think I just claimed. I do nothing. Yeah, the pass claim. And here you get your R2. So I think I feel like I remember I think I drew like two super laser techs and a resupply in this opening hand, and I was like, well, this is fine because I have a flip turn ready. Like it was that plus like the cards necessary for a flip turn. So I was like, okay, whatever. I don't need to play turn one.
Obviously, I was excited that you didn't play it, but I'm still like, I know the strength of Boba. I know how quickly it can
Yeah,
just
I mean,
run through
because you
you.
saw I didn't mulligan, so I think you have to assume. Well, if he's not mulliganed, he's got resupply. There is no way like you pass turn one, you keep the hand and pass turn one without like you basically seeing everything you need to from then on.
That was a mistake play by me for sure. I don't think pumping up R2 was clever there because just for the fact that you can bounce them so cheaply.
Well, I don't know what else you had to play here. If you only had a two drop, then I think it's. Oh, you had nothing else. Oh no, sorry. You're just looking at the top card. Yeah, I mean, if you had a three drop, then I agree. I think it would have been better just to. But I don't know actually, because if you buff it, it's out of the range of Syndicate lackeys, and you force me to. And if I ECL in a Zuckuss, like you just get to target down it.
It's just
So I do think buffing is
it's
good.
waylay. I'm mostly worried about
Yeah,
like
I mean a way blades well, but like
investing free into something that you're going to pay two to remove doesn't feel good.
that's true. But you've got a decent amount of damage out of it. You know, you managed
Yeah,
to
yeah, it's not
get
the
out and
worst.
just
I
build
double filter as well. So R2 definitely paying dividends in this game.
100%.
But
So
no,
here I've there is
already I'm just my
yeah.
heart.
Oh no, I ECL in. Yeah, I ECL in the Zuckuss. I'm like, okay, yeah, fine. Take your talk in town.
Yeah, I mean that is such a strong play. Like, what can I even say or do about that? Nothing really. And so you get the one resource back for the removal, and
Yeah.
then
And I mean, this is what I mean, right? If you hadn't buffed it, you couldn't have Tarkin Town here, and I suspect you would have had a really, really tough game. Like if you hadn't have buffed the R2.
yeah, I mean there's no doubt
Oh,
about that.
here's so I think I remember thinking here like, oh, interesting. He hasn't buffed the he hasn't used the Tarkin Town because he's probably thinking, oh well, he can just do it whenever. I can't remember actually if at this point was I playing. I may have been playing McClunky. Yeah, okay, I was playing McClunky. So sorry, I've sent you the wrong list. Instead of Timely Intervention, this list currently has McClunky.
Makes
I'd
sense.
I'd remove this immediately after trying it out in the games against you because I hated it so much.
Yeah, no doubt, and yeah, I definitely punished there for that. But no, fortunately, not as punished as I could have been because I was able to buff my A wing out of range.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
kind of like I probably should have Tarkin Town immediately, though. To be honest, like
probably. It probably was correct to do that. Yeah. And then here, I mean, with two resources, I think I just played like a what's it called? A cartel spacer, probably.
I'm just messing around with the.
Yeah. So here I'm just sitting here going, right, well, I'm going into my flip turn. I have used my ECL. Sorry, I'm going into my six resource turn. A fire spray here is probably pretty backbreaking for you. I just get to board clear. Oh yes, I know. Good to me then here. The here I am genuinely worried about your aggro because I don't really want to be taking 4 damage a turn from that. So I'm just
Yeah,
like, nope, put it down.
yeah. I mean that's definitely not a bad play.
Yeah, so this you can see. I mean, this flip turn it was okay, but like wasn't anything crazy. And
You,
like, yeah, the McClunky didn't feel very good.
the huge
I
thing
cut it off.
is you are outvaluing me decently well as far as I've spent 3 resource or 4 resource on buffing stuff, and it hasn't really got me any
True,
value
that is
because
true. You're yeah.
you pulled back your Zuckuss, and I mean, sure, you didn't kill the A wing, but now it's locked down. It's kind of like, I'm being really stifled at the moment, and they're again another waste of a resource for me because you can't
Yeah, yeah.
outspace
You
me.
should have just taken the value and swung with it first.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of no, I wouldn't even say they're misplays on my front. I mean, obviously I'm should be reading you a bit better. I
Oh,
pillaged
there's the
you.
pillage. There's the pillage.
Yeah, I'm kind of
So
like
here I'm like, oh shit. All right, what do I get rid of? I think
I'm frustrated for sure.
I think I have three, so I'm just choosing which one to keep. And basically, I'm just like, okay, am I essentially passing the rest of this turn now? I think I have a fire spray here, but I'm like, yeah, that definitely goes. If I have them all, I have to keep them all because like it just answers your Ray. I can't really get rid of
This is
it.
actually another consequence of my misplay with the Tarkin Town because if I had Tarkin Town you there, you wouldn't have had that last card in hand. Now I don't know how
No,
impactful that
no, I would
card
have had
even
the
is.
McClunky. I would have had the McClunky because I wouldn't have used it.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, makes sense. Which would have been straight into the trash
Yeah,
potentially.
exactly. I would have been like, yep, get it out. So it wouldn't have mattered from that sense. But yeah, so here, oh yeah,
Smuggler.
here I keep a play. I just keep having a play. Um, I don't even think I was necessarily into. So you see the instant resource there. You're like, there's no way this guy just got them all.
Yeah,
I just drew them all. Like I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
yeah, and that's gonna pretty much end the game.
Yeah, because if you don't have a way to have me discard it, I'm just like, well, that's a game swing. Here, you rivals fall to just get rid of my Boba, which I think is fine. I think it's correct. And I think here I just kill your A-wing. I'm just like, get it out. I need it gone.
Yep, I mean, I don't blame you.
So this restored arc is definitely annoying. It's just healing you every single turn, but it's not the worst thing in the world to have to deal with.
No,
And here I
100%.
know now you're very constrained, right? You're like, okay, are you deploying? Yes or no? You have to make the decision, right?
Yeah, which is a bad spot. I mean, obviously one card in hand. I just I had to take the risk. Really, I can't dally against you because the longer I wait, the worse it potentially gets.
Yeah. And I think like you could have passed and like just made me play out them all. Like here you just go like have it, right? Like because I could have just been bluffing. I could have just resourced and been like because that's arguably like a correct play. Oh, make him think I have it so he passes and then actually
Well,
if I have
the
nothing,
probability is fairly high that you might have it.
I don't know.
I
It's
mean,
too
I thought the one card you had left in hand when you played the Crafty Smuggler, I thought that was a mull anyway. So, um, it's a difficult one. I think I'm, excuse the language, but effed if I do, effed if I don't, kind of thing.
I think so.
I had to do something there to just push
Yeah, I
on.
think I think the difficulty is even if you go okay, I passed and I just play them all, and yes, okay, you get to swing with your Ray, that's fine. I take initiative, I kill your Ray on the next turn anyway. Nothing changes from that front. You just get or you get a restore 3, you get a buff, but like I'm still immediately answering your ruler, your leader. Like it's still not
Oh
amazing,
yeah,
and
I
like,
mean that was horrible. I think at this point I'm actually.
I think you do just have to like have me have it because like I mean, what are the odds of me drawing 2 for turn and one of them's them all? It's low. It's not 0, but it is
Being
low.
able to ping the smuggler as well, you had everything, just everything right. You
Yeah, that was yeah, which was really nice. So well,
and
that was
then
part of why I
and
kept it.
now I lose any
And
chance
here
of
I'm just like,
winning.
yeah, get rid of that vigilance, get it out.
Yeah, I lose any chance of winning with the vigilance going. Sadly,
I was tempted to choose the force throw, but I was like, I think it just has to be the vigilance. And here you are just gonna force throw me, and I just lose some random card. I think I discard like a super laser tech or something. But I think this is part of why smuggle is going to be really important.
yeah. I mean that's definitely one thing that my list lacks is smuggle, and that's why I'm
because when
saying
you run out of cards, like you actually have nothing to do, and I think you really need to.
yeah. Cassian will be a very helpful addition to the
100%.
I mean, just replacing it's a straight swap for Kanan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a really good game though. I mean, like I say, this is early testing for me with Rey, and I think it definitely showed that it can hang with Boba. but I have to play perfectly and hope that your deck doesn't play perfectly.
This is the thing. I think it's very much Boba favored, but I will also say, like, I've seen a lot of Boba players who really don't like. I, the thing is, if I just hand you a perfect Boba hand, like, yeah, obviously you can play it, but it's like that's not what the situation is in the game. The situation is you open your six and you need to make a terrible resourcing decision, which is going to be influenced based on your matchup. So you just sit there and go, man, I have no idea what I'm meant to do here. And then, like, and then every single turn, you're doing the exact same thing until you hit your flip turn. And then things become really, really easy. Because you've spent your whole game so far crafting your hand to have a really powerful flip turn. And then you're just drawing. And you're just like, oh, well, I'll just play whatever I draw.
I
Like,
mean,
it gets very easy from that point on. But, like,
in the scope of the game, for you as the green Boba player, is Rey a deck that you're even worried about, like realistically, or you
but
can
I
be
think
you
like
can be honest about it. It's no big deal.
I think like it's not one that's like it's not my one that I'm like if I queue into it I'm probably feeling fine. Like it's not one I'm super stressed about. Like obviously like yes if you pillage me like I'm cooked, but you know like that's.
Would you say that's the best way? The best way to deal with the deck is to try and destroy its hand and get advantage that way.
Because if you think about it, right, like if I turn one, I have four in hand. I play a card, I go down to three. Turn two, I draw two, I resource one, I'm in four. I play a resupply, I'm down to three. So turn four on my flip turn when you can pillage me. If you have initiative, I'm at four cards in hand. So if you pillage me, like I get my flip turn, but then I'm just top decking from that point on, and like that's not great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially if I don't, and especially if you do that, like, and I don't see around, right? Like, and it's a very different.
The fire spray just finishes the game there. You know, yeah. I'm on 23.
Yeah, and this is part of the reason I've swapped to commission because for some reason they made this card searchable in set 2. So, yeah,
commission. Surprising to see that you don't play triple dark raid.
Here I was just showing you my hand. I was like, I don't care what, like I'd lose here. I think you are meant to get the 3 damage burn here, but it doesn't matter because you have the Luke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just going Maul the GOAT, Maul the game winner.
Yeah, but no, great game though. So 2-1, 2-1 to Boba. Boba's still proving to be potentially the strongest leader, probably the strongest leader.
I think it is the best leader.
I don't think there's anything super close to it from set 2, unfortunately. However,
I don't think it's the best deck, but I think it's the best leader.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely debatable. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed this mini series of me testing Rey, and we will be back soon with some more gameplay, guys. So thank you for checking it out, and yeah, don't remember to like, subscribe, and follow below.
See you guys soon.